Good evening or afternoon. Welcome to A Craft Evolved. I'm Raymond Corrado Knudsen. With me, I have my brother in arms, Jeff Gorsica.
Hello. Good to be here.
You feeling good, Jeff? You feeling strong?
Oh, I'm feeling good. It's a good day to be on a podcast. Here in the States, it's snowing immensely in my area. So
yep, Western Norway too. It is snowing really hard. We had tons of snow. Actually, it's not snowing now. It's just freezing.
Yeah,
we have a beautiful winter wonderland going on.
Yeah,
is today not Super Bowl? Lovely. Is today not a Super Bowl day?
It is the Super Bowl. It is Tom Brady going to the Super Bowl again.
So if you are here right now, welcome, and you are welcome. You don't have to watch the Super Bowl now. You can hang out with me and Jeff for a little while.
Talk about acting.
Talk about acting for a minute. So today we wanted to preface this. We wanted to kick this whole thing off, didn't we? Can we hear each other on the thing? Can everybody hear us? Can all the people? The internet. Excuse me, Jeff. Can the internet hear us when we talk? You see, Jeff and I are past 30.
I think it's good. The only reason for anyone who's watching right now, we had a mistake in the past where we went the whole episode and you couldn't hear me.
We've been burned.
We got to check that. We got to triple check that.
Yeah.
We're good, man. I've checked it. We're good.
So we hear you, we hear me, we hear it all. And that's the most important thing probably about, if we're going to podcast, live stream podcast, then I guess the hearing is number one.
I'm going to say number one.
That's probably number one.
Yeah, over video, over anything.
Yes, hearing is number one. So good, we can hear each other. Yes, we've been burned in the past, but we're back now and we're strong. And I'm going to preface and start the whole thing by telling a joke. Are you ready for a joke, Jeff?
I am, yes. Yes.
Okay. The joke this evening is, so I ran into somebody and I know their trait, right? I'm going to say, Jeff, what do you do? And then you would reply,
I'm an actor.
Yes, you would reply, I'm an actor. And I would reply, you ready for your cousin's joke? You ready? At what restaurant?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think I've heard that.
You feel it? Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Right?
There's another one. I've shared it with you before.
Yes,
where it's
please.
Like, hey man, you're pursuing acting?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you want to know the only line you ever need to know?
No, tell me.
Would you like fries with that? It hurts, dude. It hurts to say.
It goes straight in, doesn't it? It goes straight in.
Yeah.
People are there? I'm going to start to go down this rabbit hole, but are there surgeon jokes? Like when you go to cut somebody open, you say, you'll ask the nurse standing next to you, would you like the filet mignon or the rump roast? You know what I mean?
That had Hannibal Lecter vibes for some reason.
It's so distasteful. Why would you do that? Why would anybody do that? You know what I mean? And why the hell would you ask if somebody's an actor at what damn restaurant? All right, because the quote is, and I'm not going to say, because Jack, this is what happens on the internet. You know how anything happens on the internet, right? So there's this picture of Jack Nicholson, and the quote is attributed to him, but I do not know, in fact, if he actually ever said it. But he says, acting is everyone's favorite second job, right? So the point is, somebody at some point on the internet said that. It may or may not have been Jack Nicholson, but that's the reality of the situation. And that's a little bit what we're going to talk about today, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the crux of this whole podcast. It's talking about the survival job and how for years and so for some people for their entire career, acting is always the gig job, the secondary job, and you need job to actually pay your bills. And
Exactly.
there shouldn't be shame in what we're discussing.
That's what I think we should talk about, is no shame. Because to me, I've been ashamed of it. I know other people who have been ashamed of it. I know, and not just being ashamed, it's just that I think we got to try to dig into what actually makes us do what we do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Because there's a motivation in here. And I think we need to talk about that for a minute, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And
because I felt it too. I felt I'll call it shame. Yeah. It's like, what am I doing? I was working retail at the time when I felt it the worst. And I was like, look at my people I went to high school with, didn't pursue acting. And they have bought one of them bought a second home, and that's where they were in their career. Like
another house.
And I was like, I am working so hard to try and do this passion of mine. And I felt it. And instead of feeling proud about the work that I'd done in acting, I felt shame that I wasn't where my peers were.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's rough because, I mean, we're going to dive into it. We were definitely going to go for it, but we have a couple of things on our list today, don't we? And because we do have, they kind of tie into each other, don't they?
Yeah.
So how they work. The second one you have on our list here says pay to play. All right. Because that's a thing. Their casting directors have like, what's it called? Cold read workshops or kind of workshop showcase things.
Yeah.
Do we need
Some
them?
people see them as like a quick fix to get a step ahead in their career.
Yeah.
too,
Yeah. Do
which
we
is
need
how
them?
it ties into.
And the question we posted was, are they necessary? Do you need them? Or is this just people taking your money away from you? Right. And Jeff and I have attended a few of them ourselves and we want to talk about them. Like, it's not like, and this is we're going to bring this up. It's not in general. This is not, we don't have all the answers to everything in the world. This is us chatting about, how we do this.
Yeah.
And how we did this. And then, maybe something good will come of it. What's that last one on the list there we got going on?
I would love to talk about networking. It's something I'm still trying to get better at, and I've made strides in it. I think I'm better at it than I've ever been, but I want it to be second nature, and like breathing. I want it to be very easy for me.
Yeah.
And there was a quote that I was listening to Bill Burr, his Monday morning podcast, and he talked about how he felt similar feelings early in his career, and he saw his buddy just like networking so easily.
Yeah.
And he went up to his friend and was like, how do you do that, man? I'm so bad at that. I want to get good at it. How do you do that? And his friend was just like, well, man, get good at it. And like walked away, apparently. Like that was his, and
good friend. Thank you, friend.
The practice of that advice, though, I think there's truth in it. And I want to talk about that. Maybe the answer is just get good at it.
Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
Get good.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Get good.
That's just we could talk about that. That's something we definitely need to put some brain power into. Let's get back to the survival job real quick and talk about it. Maybe. I mean, first of all, what are good survival jobs? What do you think are good survival jobs?
Well, they have to be flexible, because you could get a job at any time. As an actor, if it's a commercial, it could shoot next week, or it could shoot sometimes within a few days after you learn about it. So you got to be able to take off. Hopefully you can find one where there's other actors naturally working it too, so that there is a bit of natural networking going on. And that was one that I found when I was at Trader Joe's. Like I found a lot of really good people, but not a lot of actors.
Yep.
So like, don't get me wrong, I was making friends. I'm not talking ill of Trader Joe's. I'm just simply saying that, like, we brought up food service, and the truth is that is a great career or great side job. Yeah. Because you're just going to be meeting other actors. The pay is good. It's flexible. Like it naturally seems to fit. So
for sure,
those are some criteria right off the bat, just to kick us off.
I like that. I do. And then also I want to add to the mix, teaching now, because if you can teach, then do it. Because you get better at what you do teaching it if you're a good teacher. So there's a selfish element in there for sure. And there's also the fact that you're doing it. You know what I mean? So let's say, you are an actor who teaches acting, or a director who teaches directing. Now this is something I don't recommend because I've done it and I still do it, but don't teach things that you kind of know a little bit about. If you can help it. Now, sometimes we got to do just like a regular survival job, and you got to teach things that, but teaching the craft that you work on makes you better at the craft that you're working on. And another thing is, depending on what you do, like teaching middle school, maybe not so much, because there's a very set schedule. The kids come and they go, and there's a drama classes or whatever.
Yeah.
It's the same every week. If you don't make it, then you have to get a substitute and everything's a little weird. However, higher education, if you get your MFA, speaking of, going back to the college podcast, then the world kind of opens up for you to freelance a little bit, and teach the occasional class here, the occasional class there, and then also offering classes. And don't think that you have to have a certain, this is something don't think you have to have a certain something special to start teaching. Be like, I have to have made 10 movies, or I have to have done so or so many plays. Like literally, you went to school to learn how to do this. And then the more you work yourself, that's always going to happen. You're going to become a better teacher every single time you do something. You do a new job.
God, that's good advice.
But just start where you're at. You know what I mean? Because there's always somebody who wants to hear what you have to say. You know what I mean? And I think that a lot of people have that problem, like overcome the fear of starting, especially when it comes to teaching things. And also the fear of becoming like, okay, I'm not an actor anymore, I'm a teacher. You know what I mean? Like I feel that with the food service industry, like you said, you can kind of come and go. You can say, this is my survival job because it's a survival job. And while others are afraid to go into education because like, well, what if I become a teacher and no longer? But of course, you become a teacher. You know what I mean? You're also an actor and a teacher. As long as you teach, you know what I mean? You're both.
Yeah, not mutually exclusive.
No, not in any way. And I think that fear needs to get thrown away. And the second thing is the fear of like, what do I like? I need to do these things first. No, there's always somebody who wants to learn, maybe. And if you are able to teach it, then teach it. And at some point, you get to a point where you're like, I can't teach you anymore. Move on.
Yeah.
And that's fine. That's a circle of life, So teaching to me is a great gig, especially higher education or freelancing, even if you start your own classes or your own school. During the Zoom, the Zoom era, well, it's called the Zoom era, right?
Yeah.
There are a lot of opportunities, and some of them are great, some of them are not so great, and you could be one of the great ones.
Yeah. Dude, what you just said rings so true to me, actually, because, I've had great teachers. I think about Michael Billingsley teaching movement, or Robert Sorrell, who taught voice. And then I go, could I be as good as them? Mm-hmm. And I intimidate myself by simply saying I have had such quality teachers. And what you just said rings true to me. And I don't think I've ever named it, but it's like, you're right. I think I do. You got to remember that you do have something to offer. Mm-hmm. And certainly there's teachers who've been doing this for 10, 15 years.
Oh, yeah.
And that's how they got good. That's how.
Yeah. And we're standing on the shoulders of giants. They have a head start. We have an amazing head start, and they always will. And those are the people that we always consistently go back to. You know what I mean? Yeah. They're our mentors. And I think that they're always going to be there. They have to be there. But there's this, I think you need to take it in, work it, and then pass it on, especially when it comes to the craft. Because nobody's really served by just regurgitation of the same things you've learned and the things you've done.
It's some sort of cookie cutter